Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a best of 5 from the Korean StarCraft League SummerSlam, the $4,500 tournament hosted by the same guys that give you the Korean StarCraft League every single week. So it's a much bigger tournament. Here in the bottom right, in the round of 12, we have Creator, and in the top left, by some people considered to be the greatest player of the past 1.5 months, it is Cure. Yes, indeed. Cure versus Creator in some exciting Terran versus Protoss action. Now, why is it exciting? It's because I like Creator. As a player, as a person, as a concept, I think Creator is something that other people should kind of aspire to be. You know, he plays a lot. He's very passionate about the game. He loves StarCraft 2. He loves competing. He hates losing. And his build orders are different than most other people's. So we're the regular guy and girl, you know, they'll play StarCraft 2, and, you know, they just play some standard crap. But Creator, he really thinks about his builds and then executes them. And then I often wonder whether his builds are actually better than the meta build. And very often the answer to that is no, but sometimes you look at something and you're like, maybe that has some validity. Maybe, perhaps, in a way, in a world. As he opens up with a Nexus before Core, which is already, well, I don't want to say relatively uncommon, but it is not super common, that's for sure. Cure is going to Scout. Cure legitimately only has one build order in Terran versus Protoss, and that build order is going for a Mind Drop with a Reaper first. I don't want to call him a boring player, but he's a very boring player. This is the missionary of Terran versus Protoss. You know, this is not a whole lot, my friend. And well, he does have some variation, of course. He sometimes builds a single mine from the factory, and sometimes, now, get this, guys, he'll build 2 mines from the factory. So this is something else. This is something else, all right? This is like a guy that comes into work with wearing the same exact, like, completely black suit every single day, and then every now and again, the color of his socks will be a slightly lighter gray rather than the very, you know, the dark gray. It's just like just a tiny bit. You know, just adjusted that slider on the grayscale just a tiny tad. You know, it's like, ooh, this is Cure. You know, Mr. Standard, Mr. Perfectly Fine. Oh, yo, we have a robotics facility. I thought I saw a Twilight Council already. Definitely did see a Twilight Council already. I also saw the Twilight movie. Not recently, when I was younger. I remember that everyone really disliked that particular movie. Or I think it was a series, maybe even. I think there might have been 2 or 3, maybe even 5. I don't know. I feel like teen movies, they just keep recreating them until the juice kind of runs dry. Or, well, they keep making more, even when the juice is already quite dry. But I think it's based on books, isn't it, Twilight? Anyway, what was I saying? Right, I watched that movie and I remember thinking to myself, this isn't great. But then again, what had I really expected out of a movie about vampires, and I think there's werewolves in it as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's like, people complain about it a lot, but then if you know it's going to be about vampires and werewolves and it's a little bit childish maybe, why do you go and watch it? Just to get upset? It's the same that's happening right now with the Barbie movie, I feel like. It's like, Barbie is a toy for girls that are like 6 most of the time. Like it's a kid's toy, you know. Like, a movie about that is probably not going to be great if you are a retired dude that is 58 and you're not into Barbies whatsoever. I don't quite understand that. I, for example, am not going to watch the Barbie movie. I wasn't really a toy kid in general. Like, I didn't use Action Mans either. I just didn't use too many toys. I usually just went outside to eat grass or something. It does explain some of the general brain damage that, well, you still see the effects of to this day, but so far nothing has happened, by the way, in the game. So I feel very comfortable talking about movies and toys until we get to something exciting. And I think we are approaching it. It's a 4-gate blink. We have 2 mines in a medevac. That means that the second tank should not be out when the first blink in happens. So if you pick the right base, you can go somewhere where there's no tank. Or if you pick a massive main base, like you currently did, then you can get into a main base where the tank can't hit you anyway. So nice little play here. It's taking his sweet time though going in. He's 10 stalkers, gonna go up to 14. This is gonna try and drop in. As a matter of fact, could actually die. There's a second stalker just idling there, which is kind of cool. This thing is being unburrowed. Like, this is a nice... Woo! This is a nice defense, honestly, out of Creator. But at the same time, he hasn't done crap on the other side of the map. Probably wants to get another warp in at this point. This is finally going to hit something. Get 4 more stalkers. So it's going to be what? This is like 16 stalkers up here. I don't think there's enough defenses. Third tank has been a bit delayed for whatever reason. And this is a one-shot. I think this game is kind of over at this point. What an absolutely terrible third game in this series. Holy crap. This is legitimate garbage tier. So now someone with a brain might go onto the high ground, but at the same time you're looking at this, I think you could just blink on top of it, honestly. Yeah. Why need a brain when you can just throw stalkers in your opponent's face? Yeah, I mean, this was a good decision making out of Creator, honestly. Poor defense here out of Cure. I felt like he was very aware of what was going on and just wasn't in position with the Marine Marauder with the first blink in. Not quite sure why not, but it wasn't there. It wasn't even on the rack. He just was completely upstairs, which is kind of weird. GG gets called. Creator wins game number 1 and will take the lead in this series. In game number 2, we have our good old friend Cure opening up with a Reaper opener. Once more, so that's the second time in a row. I'm honestly expecting that however many games this series is going to be, that we'll see a straight up Reaper opener every single game. Maybe one time he'll play a double gas opener. Still going to be with a Reaper, but it is a different build, or it's a different type of Reaper opener. This is just a really, you kind of just scout and then you react type of build, you know? He's gonna get hit here by the attack. Look at this. Creator is so patient. Just standing on top there, like waiting for this guy to pop off. He's too afraid to move down because he's afraid this thing's gonna move up and then life's going to suck. Double Chronos here, wow. That's a lot of investment in cash. Huh. Once more going to get a Twilight Council out. So we have the CC plus the factory about to be done. Look at our good friend over here, my mate Cure. What are you doing, buddy? Wow, once again. So, my call is now that he's lost one game against the 4-gate blink, is that he's going to build a single mine here rather than getting 2 mines. Last game was 2 mines. Now it's going to be probably 1 mine so he can get faster tanks. He's like, okay, what did I do wrong? Right. 1 mine is much better versus aggressive builds. And it honestly is true. Surprised to see a battery going up in here as the Reaper pops up in. That's actually... Ooh, if he gets a kill here, that'd be nice. No, it doesn't get a kill, but still some mining time lost. That's big. Battery is going to get cancelled immediately as well. So overall, might actually have been a positive transaction for Creator. Saving those 100 minerals can be kind of big. 3 gates on the way. Oh, it's going to be the exact same build. So it's just going to be a 4-gate blink opener once more. And I am very curious how Creator is going to make all of this work. This is a worse map for it, first of all. Second of all, oh yeah, Cure actually did go just for a single mine drop, so it's going to have a faster second tank. It's also going to have a faster first tank, and now, listen to this, he's also going to have a faster third tank. If he continues building tanks after 3, those tanks will also be quicker. You could even say that his tank production starts earlier. And thus, as a result, all of his tanks will be a little bit faster. Isn't that absolutely revolutionary? As this mine drop is now heading in toward the main base. Creator is semi in position. No, you know, this is fine. This is fine. Absolutely fine. There is a prism already on the other side of the map. He's lacking in gas just a tiny bit. As the second barracks is going down. Okay, honestly, if Cure ends up dying again to the same exact push, I would be very surprised. But this adept will get taken out. He unsieges to make sure it doesn't splash his own crap. I actually think that moving this up just a tiny bit, maybe over here, would have probably been a bit better. But oh well, who am I to backseat over here? This tank is too far forward. It needs to move either here or down here a little bit. Yeah. That's better. Okay. Positioning is solid. Setup is solid. You have a lot of stalkers out, and Creator usually blinks in towards the main first. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go for that. Has poor vision, of course, with this Observer due to a Raven being out. Makes it hard to kind of know how you want to rotate. Just gonna maybe just go for the natural. It should be impossible, actually. There's a third tank now out as well. So this should be absolutely impossible. I think this bunker might die. Yeah. We actually have too slow of a worker pool there. Bunker gets rebuilt immediately. The one thing that Cure has been doing quite poorly is making sure that he has vision on the side. Like, just having an SCV here, you can always pull it back once you see the stalkers. That's a big deal, like knowing where your opponent's army is going to come from. Because you can move all of your bio units in position. In Creator definitely cannot do anything here. He needs to piss off right now, 100%. 100% needs to piss off. So this is what? A third base going on. It's really late though. There's 14? 18 stalkers already. Holy crap. These two stalkers from the main are also starting to show up. I just don't think it's possible to do anything. There's 4 tanks already. A 5th tank is on the way. We now have these stalkers trying to move in position, but this tank will cover that as well. Might get 1 worker. Might get 2 workers. Or might get 0 and lose a stalker, which is exactly what happens here. At the same time, we see these two medifactors just kind of boosting around. Did the Raven almost die? Yeah. Took some damage here. Caught it in the corner of my eye. This should actually... I don't think it's going to kill this base or a whole lot, because I think a recall might be available, yeah. Unless he decides to chrono the probes right now. That would be really bad. That would be real bad. Let me tell you that much. That would actually uber suck. There's no charge quite yet, so this Zealot Weapon is useless. Needs to recall instantly. If he doesn't recall instantly, he could lose a lot of work. Okay, we get an instant recall. That means 4 Zealots get taken out. And also you lose all your map control. So if Cure decides to move across the map right now, there's really not that much that Creator can do to stop him. Yes, Cure immediately unsieges all of his tanks. Oh, leaves 1 behind. 3rd base is on the way. I think the issue here for Creator is very simple. He has no splash. He's fighting against a massive army. How many gates do we have? We only have 6 gates as well. Like, if Storm was done and there was 3 Templar, I'd say maybe you can hold this. But without that, I think it's going to be real difficult. Perhaps even impossible. Yes, I said the I word. We have a Templar now in a Prism. I think it's trying to bait out that Raven doing something. There's a lot of stalkers though, huh? This is actually kind of a big army, and well, this is also a very big army. Interference does hit the Prism, but the feedback also hits the Raven, so no anti-armor missile. That's something at least. Tank's not really contributing in the fight quite yet. Slightly overstimmed is this army already, sure. Creator with a big Zealot Warping coming in as well now. It's actually dealing quite decent damage. Zealots are stuck behind the Stalkers though, and that sucks. We see a lot of reinforcements coming across the minimap. And once these arrive, I actually think that Creator, despite feeling close to a hold right now, I think Creator is going to be in a world of trouble here. Super Battery had been activated already. It's not going to be available once more. Still another, like, what, 35 seconds or so. A bunch of mines are showing up as well. We're still only on 6 gateways. Has that Forge even researched anything? No, it hasn't. Storm is done, but there's no Templar here, and I think that this is just going to be it. Yeah, this is definitely just going to be it. There's too many medevacs, and that means that this bio will be too healthy to die. Creator warps in the face of danger. And Cure takes game number 2. Alright, game number 3, we see Creator opening up without a scout across the map. A fast cybernetic score into a Nexus. And Cure opening up with, wow, kind of a revolutionary opener here. Is this a Reaper first into a 1-gas expand? I could have never seen that one coming. God, this guy is a magician of the early game. He has a huge diversity of build orders, this guy. That is crazy to watch. To be fair, Creator so far has played 4-gate Blink twice in a row. But the first time was at least of a Nexus before core. Second time was of a core before Nexus. And there's actually a difference there, you know, that only the highest level of players will be capable of appreciating. But there's definitely something. I guess Cure also changed his build a bit, because rather than going for the 2 mines, in the second game he went for the brilliant 1 mine play with that drop. And that's just the high level thinking that I need in my life, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we got the bunker going on the low ground right now. I pray to the Lord that Creator's going to switch it up. I can't be bothered watching another 4-gate blink game. Come on, man, get it together. The problem with the 4-gate blink is that usually the games end up finishing within 7-8 minutes. It's either the toss wins and then stops the first push convincingly, counterattacks, or the Terran wins with the first push after stopping the 4-gate blink convincingly. So it's kind of what just happened in the last game and kind of what happened in the first game. Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping here. I'm praying. I'm hopeful though. I really am hopeful. Creator is someone that actually does like playing some weird builds. Like we've seen him play 2-base Storm, for example. This is one of the build orders that is really cool and definitely doesn't feel very viable at high level, which is why I like that build so much. Because when it works, not only do you get a win, but you also know that the other person feels significantly worse than they felt before they played against you. And I think that is one of those things in StarCraft 2 that is really kind of underrated. And we should put more of a spotlight on it. I think like one of the main things in StarCraft 2, like the goal, at least when I play, is making other people feel way worse than they did before they started playing that particular game, you know? If someone, you know, woke up very happy, you know, their day is a 10 out of 10, you know, went out in the sun in the early morning, maybe even did some jump roping or something for like 10 minutes, you know, they get that adrenaline going through their body, their cardiovascular health is perfect. And then there's like, all right, time for an intellectual activity right now. And they sit, you know, like chess, no, too easy. It's already been figured out by the computers. What about this game? StarCraft 2, that looks interesting. Boom, they hit the ladders like, okay, the AI, medium, and hard, I've all managed to beat. They go on the ladder and they play against some of the 12 pools and then just lose. You know? The feeling there from going to a 10 to a 6.5 immediately in your day, I don't think that can be replicated in many other games. And it really only requires 3.5 minutes of some absolutely idiotic cheese to hit you. And I think a lot of players, they don't explicitly state that this is their goal, is, you know, is ruining other people's days. But I think deep down we all know why we play StarCraft 2, and I think that is the reason. You know how people often say that something like friendships aren't a zero-sum game? StarCraft 2 also isn't a zero-sum game. Because in a zero-sum game, someone usually gains something. But in StarCraft 2, usually both people are losing happiness in the process. Or you gain a little bit of happiness temporarily, just for it to be robbed the game after. But it's not even. So imagine that the 12-pooler gains like a happiness of +1 after winning. The person that got 12 pooled gets like a happiness of -6. And there's just a happiness tax, you know, that Blizzard takes away, all going into the bank account of Bobby Kotick. Kotick? I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. That's why he can bring the worst news with a big smile on his face. It's because he's not only been, you know, ruining Blizzard, he's also just been stealing happiness out of people for years now. That's where your happiness is going. It's not big cheese or big pharma. No. It is Bobby. Bobby working at Activision Blizzard. He takes away your happiness, okay? Just keep that in mind next time. We have a car going in. I think everything kind of got spotted. Now, this was another exciting early game here. Look at this. We're 5 minutes in. A mine, a medevac, and a Hellion have died, as well as a single probe. So these first 6 minutes and 16 seconds have been well spent, in my opinion. We have a third CC now coming up in the main base. This is a good call. So whenever... Okay, this is actually very nice. So you scout the Templar archives and you know that the Raven is not going to be very useful in your army. It's not really a viable unit anymore. Thus you send it around. You try to get some value out of it still in maybe taking out some probes or just, you know, forcing out a feedback or something. Like the Raven still is good to have built, because in case it was Colossus or in case it was a 4-gate blink or heavy blink pressure, it would have been good. And now it still can provide some value. You could also use it with your army as a detector, but very often with Templar Archives builds, there's not going to be too many observers, because observers cost a lot of gas. You know what else costs a lot of gas? Exactly, Templar. Good guess, guys. So that's when you're getting a lot of Templar. You often don't really have the gas to also get observers. This time, that's not the case, because for some reason, Creator managed to rush into 6 gas. He's been playing insanely greedy, and Cure hasn't been capable of quite punishing this. Or hasn't even tried. We have a Ghost Academy on the way right now, as I think... Did a Cybercore get taken out? I think so. Yeah, we have Cybercore being rebuilt. We have a Robo that just finished up as well. And a 4th base. And the line positioning is not entirely what I'm familiar with. Double Mind Drop now being sent out. This is a random Mind Drop. If this works, Creator's gonna lose quite a bit of happiness here. Oh, well, never mind. This is not gonna work. Yeah. Whoop. All right. What the hell am I watching? Actually end my life. What was this? No shot. I guess he only had 7 seconds to respond. Like, just lost 11 workers for free. That was really bad. What the heck? There's so many units in the main as well. One of the things that is really funny about Creator is that he often pre-splits his army in like these massive splits without having a lot of map vision. So he's very good at pre-splitting army, but then at the same time, if he would just have a little bit of extra vision, I feel like it would be so much easier to play as well. Look at what he's seeing right now. Like legit nothing. He has no clue as to what is going on. So he just has this pre-split army in the main in kind of an awkward position as well. He's nothing on the left. Like now he's finally starting to move some units around, but this feels awful. It just feels terrible to not have any vision at all. Double auto turrets are being thrown down as this Raven is still being a valuable tool to repress the working class, honestly. Look at these probes just being forced away. That's what a Raven is. Pricks. Vikings are gonna fight this Prism. Prism doesn't fight back. A pacifist. And he dies. The thermal lance is being researched. I don't know what's more exciting, watching the probes mine or just seeing how quickly thermal lance is going to finish up. Oh, actually have a move out here. 9 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Cure has had enough of sitting back and macroing. It's time for a little bit of a fight. Misses the first EMP, which is impressive because it's basically instant. Walks into 2 and then 3 storms. Well, that was not entirely brilliant. Still feels like this push is kind of scary though. We also have 2-2 on the way. What's the actual forge count? We only have 1 forge. This is not good for Creator. Like, Creator is winning this game tech-wise, eco-wise, and all of that stuff. But he's losing it in the upgrades. And sometimes, even if you're up in eco and you have slightly better tech, if you're down in upgrades and the army supplies are very close, upgrades can be super impactful. Okay, we now have 2 more forges on the way. That's interesting. He's preparing for one of the forges to get killed or something. I've never seen shields being upgraded in this matchup. Maybe he forgot that he already is researching attack upgrades? Yeah, whatever. Dark Shrine also on the way. No extra gases though yet, and no 5th base. Usually you get one of the 2, either a faster 5th or faster 6 to 8 gas. Got a couple of storms in here. No shot. It's actually gonna lose the forward forge. Dude, this guy's a genius. Still start shields though. You can't make this up. Come on. No, there should not be shields. It should be armor. Cancel the shields. Get the armor, brother. You know you don't want shields. Shields is garbage. What the hell? You can look into the future, this guy can. Raven once again shows up. Is gonna try and get a couple more kills. Has 3 already. There's another Raven available as well. Don't forget about that. Oh, could get another one. 2. Almost got one more. 5 kills on this Raven. I mean, it hasn't been terrible. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been terrible either. It still provides some value at least. Planetary now on the way. Zealot Rumba is being sent out. I'm loving the double pylon setup here. He has the same logic with the pylons as he had with the Forge. He's like, wait, if I lose one pylon, I still have another pylon in the back. How about that? He's never going to expect there to be one right next to it, is he now? He's warping in Stalkers? That is degenerate. I love it. Gonna snipe that one medevac. Actually in a good position here to maybe take a fight. Upgrades though, 2-2 versus +1. This feels really scary. This feels really freaking scary. Storms are going to need to be very good. First storm is okay at least. This is a huge army. Holy cow. This is a huge army. Guardian Shield gets shot immediately. Storm, no. EMP connects. This is an okay fight. He's microing this very well. My man Creator is good blink away. Last millisecond it felt like. Anti-armor's going to connect. That now means we have basically -2 armor versus, well, +2 attack. That's going to look very scary. Not sure if there's enough units though. I'm not sure if there's enough units. This has been real good control out of Creator here. Who I think is in a position to almost just straight up pick up this game. If there was no planetary and he could just fight right now with this army, he would win. There's no medevacs with energy. Like, he has 2 empty medevacs, this dude. There's a 5th base on the way. I feel like a couple of extra workers would be nice. Cure has 86 workers on 4 bases. Like, this is a major oversaturation over here. Look at that. Literally every single base is significantly oversaturated. So we have more Archons being morphed. I think that might be a mistake, but at the same time, I mean, let's go. Let's freaking go. Wouldn't mind seeing 1 or 2 Zealots being sent into the 3rd base, as that does look like it is naked and undefended at this point. We have this move in with just a portion of the army, which is kind of cool in a way. Oof. 1 mine gets used. Thought there was an observer in this army, but not anymore. Might have been killed earlier. Earlier I saw some of these mines going down. Big fight. Disruptor shot. Going to connect with 2 of his own Zealots. Not quite the fight that he was looking for. Still going to continue attacking. Looks somewhat okay. There's 1 more storm available here in the back. Now we'll make a rotation over towards the 3rd base. And this 3rd base... Oh, no, he's not going to go for it. I think he should, honestly. I think making a rotation over to that 3rd base is 100% going to be the correct call. Could perhaps even just clear this orbital, depending on how fast Cure is going to be with the moves here. How fast is Cure with the moves? Big blink forward out of these Stalkers. And yep, that's toast. CC is toast. That means it's 3 base versus 5 right now. Here comes another fight. I almost feel like Creator could just fight this right here. I think he definitely can. Big blink forward, wants to snipe these Vikings, nothing else, right? He's going to win this fight pretty freaking convincingly as well. We get 1 more mine shot. So there's no prism to save it. But this is a real nice position here. No extra upgrades though coming down is a problem. Oh, the Twilight Council got taken out. Is that the issue? There was no Twilight. Oh no. So that's why he's still stuck on only 2-1 upgrades. 3-3 is about to finish up for Cure as well, which is actually very scary. 6th base on the way, which I appreciate. But the main focus here really should be on the upgrades. If you're down 3 upgrades against a Terran and EMP connects with your army, it doesn't really matter what you have. Like, unless you have a lot of disruptors, like, these upgrades are just too strong. But this is not a disruptor army. It feels like Creator is pretending like he has better upgrades than his opponents, but he really doesn't. He has much worse upgrades than his opponents. Good control there on the probes. This mine drop does absolutely nothing. That is really expensive right now for Cure, because he doesn't have that many mines. Only has 4, and mines are great against Zealot counts. To be fair, there's not that many Zealots. Creator once again decides to move out. This is really a fighting army, but 3-3 just finished up. So it's a 3 upgrade deficit here for Creator. He doesn't have units that can say, hey, I don't care about your attack or your armor upgrades, like the Disruptor, like a lot of storms available. I actually think this is a mistake. Army supply is super close as well. Like, this is not good. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. EMP hits the Templar. Disruptor gets sniped just before it gets the hit. This is a mistake. 98 supply to 72. 97 supply against 56 when it comes to the army supply. Colossus are dying. Immortals are getting bopped as well. And I think Creator has just At the throw of a lifetime here, honestly. I'm not saying this was impossible to lose, but you did have to try a little bit to lose this game, and he just did. This is a mistake. Did not start the 3-2 upgrades, felt forced into attacking, but without disruptors, it was obvious that wasn't going to work. I think what you do in that situation is you just start run buying, or like setting up potential run buys while getting new upgrades and trying to get more disruptors out. But this was, I think he's dead. I think he's actually dead. Just impede his own medevacs. It's gonna kill one, gonna kill 2 bases, and a lot of workers. Then either move towards the middle or towards the left. I actually would prefer going towards the left here, because this base is isolated, right? Yeah, there you go. So you can't get caught by like some weird reinforcement setup, trying to move up a ramp. Just be like, hey, I'm taking out all the bases. At the same time, Creator is attempting a bit of a run by. I think they should have maybe been attempted a bit faster. Because now it almost feels like it's too late already over here. SCV's being pulled off the line. 37 workers have come down. Creator in absolute shambles here with 48 army supply against 87. Has 1 mining base left against 1.5. Well, basically 2 mining bases left of his opponent. And there's still 2 orbitals total. Yeah, of course the orbital... Wait, what? Oh, the orbital from the natural field to the 3rd base. Right, of course. There's so many medevacs here as well. And there's no real splash. That's the issue. I don't understand why we're building Immortals. Still no extra upgrades either. And I think this... Yeah, Guardian Shield not even going to be activated before the fight. I think that this Stimin should just be it. Yeah, EMP's trying to hit. It doesn't even matter if it really hits. Like, his army is too big. It's too well upgraded. Disruptor coming in from the left side is going to fall before it gets the shot off. And that's GG. And that means we'll be heading in potentially our final game, as Cure now is on match point. Change of pace here out of Cures. He opens up with a Marine. And now the question is, will it be a Marine into a very fast factory or a Marine straight into a reactor? Seems to me like it's going to be a very fast factory. So extremely different from what we've seen before out of it. And I'm curious, well, Creator's not going to be aware of this whatsoever. He's going to be chrono boosting his first adept, but hasn't scouted. Just has kind of scouted around his main base to make sure he's not being proxied, whether that's going to be Proxy Marauder or just some regular Proxy Rex into a Reaper. Doesn't matter all that much. This Marine is just popping out and about, and we'll need to return back home, as at 2:20 is when the first unit pops out of a proxy gate. So I'm not entirely sure what this Marine is looking for right now, but if it was a proxy gate, this Marine would be absolutely dead. Dead, dead, dead. Maybe just trying to figure out if there's a proxy Stargate or something. Seems a little bit odd though. Hellion now is being constructed, as well as this starport, and the first 2 Marines should start popping out. Now, the thing with this Adept is because there was no scout, and that means that Creator doesn't know whether it was Reaper first or not. As a result, he's playing overly safe, keeping this Adept at home, and because of that, now I think Cure's in a really nice spot. It's going to be Hellion into Mine. It could just be a 2 mine drop this time around, but this is going to hit much quicker than any of the other mine drops that we've seen so far in this series, because the factory is about 18 seconds faster. That means the starport is about 18 seconds faster, and that means that the drop is going to hit about 18 seconds faster. There's no way to have Blink available for this. It is literally impossible. As for the 4th time in a row, we have a Twilight Council opener. I would have loved to see a mix-in of some Stargate play as well. Creator now opening up with a 3-gate pre-robo. Would love to see where this is actually going, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure indeed. Medevac is about to pop. So it actually was just a single mine, not a double mine. Ooh. Mine stays at home. 7 Marine drop heading across the map. Now this is something you'd love to see. Now this is something you'd love to see. Raven straight up behind this. We have a tech lab. That's going to be for a tank, I guess. So 1 tank and then perhaps a barracks. Is that what we're seeing? No 3rd gas necessary. And here we go. 7 Marines heading to the main. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and boom. No battery in the main either, of course. That means that, well, maybe with some good micro, Cure can actually do something here. Needs to start picking up low Marines. Is not doing that quite. We'll clear that 1 adept, and I think it's time to piss off. There's a Hellion in the natural as well. As these Stalkers are honestly taking quite a beating. Why is there no micro at all on this medevac by Cure? I don't understand that. Could have definitely tried saving that. Hellion still active in the natural. 0 kills so far as this battery definitely is helping out. There comes the first kill. 4 Marines still alive. And overall, this has been, well, phenomenal for Cure. How can 7 Marines and 1 medevac deal this much damage? I don't know. But it did happen. As this Stalker will blink away for now. Poof, poof, poof. Very nice opener here for Cure. Kind of committed as well, let's face it. Let's face facts here. That was a well-committed build order. Loses 7 Marines. That means the follow-up defense will be a tiny bit harder. Second tank on the way out as well. As the Raven flies across. Should be capable of killing perhaps a couple more of those workers. There is a battery in position, or at least it's being built. So maybe those worker kills are not going to happen after all. Tank siege is up. Second bunker on the way. We have the 3-rack set up here properly as well. As a third tank now is coming in. I'm not sure why he's just constant... Jesus. Consistently juggling these tanks in different positions. I think you could actually put it a bit further forward to have a better defense of everything. Cure, however, disagrees with that. Has a tank in the natural that helps him out against this 4 Stalker harass. As long as Creator doesn't lose a Stalker here, I think he's going to be just fine with his life. He needs to clear one more. Okay, gets 5 worker kills, which is actually nice. And I think that kind of evens well, doesn't really even it up, actually. Resources lost. Yeah. Maybe it evens it up a little bit. The problem that I have with Creator here is that he's stacking quite heavily right now into these Templar. We don't have Storm on the way yet. We have a very low gateway count. There's no charge coming out. So this is going to be a pure range army. And I just don't see... well, I don't understand what the follow-up plan is. There's no units. No real tech. Like, he's built a Templar Archives to get, what, a single Archon out? Is that why we rush 4 gases? Like, without Storm, this actually carries a lot of risk. And Stalker's out of position as well over here. Makes matters even worse. Prism is not going to scout nothing. Once again, this is like the umpteenth time that Creator just has legitimately no map vision at all. He's got to be caught out like a prick. And yeah, well, he's dead. No? But there's no stim. You can't make this stuff up. He's fighting without stim, without combat shield. Medevacs are now showing up, or well, 1 medevac is now showing up. Stim still a couple of seconds away. Archon with the super battery, helping a crap on. This was an awful decision here, out of Cure. I still think it might just barely be enough. I don't understand though why he would fight pre-stim, pre-combat. He did it and lost a lot of units, got way too close here. Luckily for him, Creator setup is even worse than his own. As I just don't see a way for Creator to really hold this right now. It just has no way to reinforce this position. Tank will get taken out. 1 more tank still available. As this Nexus is falling lower and lower. Will get targeted down. It's the tank in the back with now 5 kills. Gets another kill. GG gets called as Cure wins the series with a 3-1 score. And what a series it was. Cure will continue on into the round of 8 of the KSL Super Slam. And I think that is actually it for me with the round of 12. So from now on, we'll be moving on to the quarterfinals, which will start tomorrow on this channel.